Open models versus closed model. What's the smartest bet? Many customers start closed, then switch to open models on Nebius. It does make perfectly sense. So you start with a closed model to experiment, do prototyping, building your product, and then you go in production. That is more flexible, it's faster, it's more convenient, and you have the smartest intelligence at your disposal. Then you validate the product, there is demand, it works, quality is good, and then you switch to open model to scale production. That makes perfectly sense. Now, to understand even better, let's make an analogy. Let's take a manufacturer. So you have R&D and production. In the R&D, you need to discover. So you need the best intelligence available, speed and convenience, and the cost is only secondary. Companies are willing to pay high salary to have the best employees to do the best job. You need to come out with the best product possible and outcompete your competitors. Then once you go in production, then it's different. You need repeatable processes, you need enough quality, so a product that is good enough at the lowest unit cost. So there is where trade-off starts. And then you are okay if you can get good enough employees at a reasonable salary. I believe this is exactly what happens with models. So in R&D, you are always going to choose the best frontier model because you want to have the best edge and advantage in building your new product. But when you go in production, you are probably going to go open models. So you're going to choose a provider like Nebius that offer you the possibility to post-train, fine-tune your open model, gives you all the possible tools, and then gives you the possibility with the token factory to run your workload at the best possible cost, so best optimization possible. So you want to have lowest possible cost, then you want to have control, predictable economics, and fine-tuning, proprietary data. Now, I've run a quick research with Grok. It doesn't need to be accurate, only directionally correct. So I found out that the salaries paid globally by companies on production is around 2 to 4x the salaries paid by companies for R&D. I believe this is the same that will happen, and it's already happening with models. So the budget spent on open models will be bigger than the budget spent on closed models. And to prove this point, I have checked the stats from Vercel and OpenRouter. Now, what I've found out is that over the last 6 months, guys, go to read my article on lorenzo2cents.com. You will find the sources and the graph, the more accurate data. The share of tokens improved for open models. So open models gained token share globally on these two providers, right? While the budget spent on closed models actually went up at the same time. So what does it mean? First of all, let me say that these are not excellent data to do this analysis because they don't take in account the open models that are hosted or accessed directly from other provider like Nebius. So that is the go-to provider when you want to use an open model, especially fine-tune on your data, right? This is better in the reality of what we have seen here. We are seeing that the share of tokens for open model is increasing, even though the budget is not increasing. This is perfectly fine, and we are at the beginning of the AI journey. So a lot of companies are experimenting, building the product. So that's why they are willing to pay a premium to use the smartest model, and they are going to closed model, but this will change over time. Now, which revenue would you rather own? What's the best quality of revenue? Those from closed model or from open models? Closed providers we said that are for experimenting. Not only for that, you have specific use cases like research and development that will always require a closed model. Product is still unproven when you use closed model. High failure risk, especially if you are a startup that is building a product, but it's the same if you are an enterprise that is AI powering your products, you can still fail. It's not said that this revenue will be growing or even will be stable. There are good chances that these revenue are temporary for the frontier model providers. They may disappear. While for open models, you are in production. So product is already validated on the closed models. Usage will probably compound, will grow, and the revenue is more durable. It's really unlikely that you are going back to a known AI powered product. Then, even more than this, open models get stickier with use, while it's not always the same for closed models. So, you get customer data, you fine tune, your provider or Nebius provide optimization, so it's post training, harnessing, whatever, at the lowest cost. So, the incentive to move back to a closed model providers are really, really low, if not zero. While the same thing is not true for the closed model. So if you are a closed model provider, the highest value you are delivering is intelligence. So when you are leapfrogged by another provider, this creates the incentive for your customers to switch to another provider. They are all Anthropic and OpenAI building tools to make it stickier, like to build agents and to harness the RAR model on the base of your data. But I believe that still, if they fall behind, that's a good enough incentive for customer to start looking to another frontier model provider. If you like this, subscribe to the channel to get even more of this. This is not financial advice. I have a position in Nebius, and go to lorenzo2sense.com to read the full story with detail and sources. Ciao.